Hi, Flosstube. I'm Barb.
And I'm Leanne.
And this is Cupid.
And we're lost in Floss.
Well, it's the month of love, February, so we had to show this little archaic guy, Cupid. He's got his little wings and back. This I made in ceramics, like, I don't know, 30-some years ago. But he's so creepy looking, as you can see, that little face. But when my son was little, like, he would make his eyes go really big, and then he'd be like, I'm making Cupid eyes. So this thing will never leave me. It's just too near and dear to my heart. So
he's so funky.
He is pretty funky. It's like one of those things, if you saw it at someone else's house, you'd be like, oh my God.
But because it's at Barb's, you're like, oh yeah.
That thing's awful. And it didn't even come from Goodwill.
Yeah, you actually made it.
I actually made it.
He is cute. I mean, there's not that much stuff for Valentine's Day, so it's nice to have.
Yeah, so it's like I've really cleaned out what I have. I hardly have anything. That's why I want to do some stitching for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I left one of my pieces in the car that I'm working on, just like a little heart cross stitch. But it started, so it counts for February.
Yeah, it counts. And then I just wanted to point out, see this clean wall? We had it in our last video too. Barb just had work done in her living room, dining room, and everything is clean and fresh.
And no pictures on the wall yet.
Well, it takes a while to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, we still have a piano that's my daughter's taking, so, and we're doing new flooring, so I'm like, I'm not too concerned about, you know, hanging things because I don't, it'll get moved around anyway, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like like we're not going to live here or something, because I don't have one nail on the wall yet.
I know, but it's kind of nice to have it all clean slate.
Yeah. So.
And then you got to figure out what you want to do or where you're going to put it.
Before the big TV comes in.
Oh, is that what you...
Well, I don't know. There's been discussion. That was
wall is bigger. You know, you could get a 80-incher in there for sure.
Oh, shush. Jim, you did not hear that. I said no bigger than we currently have.
Oh, come on.
Well, yeah.
You won't notice it that much.
I wouldn't mind on this wall as much, like to go the width, and then it'd be kind of out of the way. But, yeah, I don't know.
Focal point.
Yeah. So.
Oh, but just think, everybody would seem like life-size when you watch Flosstube.
I know. Well, there's a point where I don't necessarily need the person bigger than me. I don't know. Like, I definitely don't want to be that person on your screen. So
yeah, I know.
Watch me on your phone.
Don't look too close. Oh my gosh. So let's see. We can start out. I think I just had one comment that Tammy had said that the snowman that we showed, was it in the last video or the one before that?
I think it was the one
before. Okay. She had just had the same thing.
Sorry again.
Don't worry about it. So, and then she liked my clean sewing room. I got a lot of comments, and I forgot to say anything in the last video. And I really do kind of keep it almost that clean. If I'm working on a project, then there's piles of fabric cut to be sewed, like on the table and the ironing board and the sewing table. But other than that, I try to keep it really clean because it just makes it easier to work in because it's a small space.
Well, yeah, I'm still, I got a bookcase for Christmas and it's not up yet.
Well, that's okay. But, I mean, there's time.
Yeah, it'll happen, you know. There's only so many hours in a day.
Well, you know, it is our Finish It February.
It is Finish It February, so I'm going to have lots of time. It's early February, so there's a lot of days to get things done this month.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited about that.
And so it could pertain to a bookcase, too. Right. Finish It February.
Finish It February.
Yeah. Yep. So that's our stitch along, and that's kind of why we're on here, is just to say that's what we're going to do. It's a sew along, stitch along, hashtag Finish It February SAL.
Yes.
And you can finish whatever you want, do whatever you want, but it'd be kind of fun to see how many finishes people have.
Yeah, and we're not even talking fully finished, we're talking finished stitching, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, just so you know.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, just so, like, the stitching is totally done. That's what our goal is. And, you know, if you want to finish it totally, that's fine, too. But just don't feel like you have to go through the whole process and before you start on something new, because that's not the case. And you might have 12 projects and not finish any of them, but you've made a big dent in them.
Yeah.
So that works too.
And that's the rule, is like you can't start anything new. So whatever time you would have spent on starting something new, you will just keep on going on your pieces that you have.
And I have to say, after watching a lot of the beginning of the year videos,
oh my gosh,
I didn't realize how many things people had. I felt so much better about what I had outstanding, because I'm like, I think really, maybe it would take me a year, but I think I could probably finish most of what I have started in a year, where some of these people, I'm like, holy cow, and beautiful things.
Oh,
I'm like,
I know.
if you got that far, just
it's something else called to them.
I guess, and yeah, like, and sometimes I think it's like, I know certain of my things that I'm working on, like the Christmas stockings, for instance. I have to be in a mood to start working on it again, and then once I get it out and work on it for an hour, then it's like, oh, I could work on it for a long time.
It's kind of like, oh, welcome, old friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like,
it kind of is like that.
A couple of my friends laugh at me because when I unpack my Christmas ornaments every year, I say, hello, old friends. In that tone of voice, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yes.
Well,
yes,
you
I
just,
do.
you know, yeah, bringing them home.
I know. And it is. I think we've talked ornaments before.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I guess they either call to you or they don't, so, you know.
And we have one or two. I got one that I know I really don't like, but I put it up anyway.
The cloud?
Yes!
If you haven't seen that video, you might want to go back. Our
Yeah.
one right before Christmas.
It's just the most adorable ornament. Barb couldn't have picked a better one for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I hang it proudly in the back of my tree.
Yeah, see, I think you should move it to the front and see if anybody notices. Did you show it off?
No, I did not.
Leanne, come on, you're missing out on fun.
I did show some people, so. But, okay, anyway. Let's see. Then, let's see. Flosstubers. I think you said you saw somebody new.
Pumpkin hollow quilts, I think it is. I think that's what it was. It was her very first one. That was a couple weeks ago that I watched it, and yeah, it was fun. She just looks very, very polished, and nice projects and
I'll have to
nice
watch
presents.
it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I guess she does a lot on Instagram, she said.
Oh, okay.
And quilting stuff too, which, yeah,
Ooh.
you would. I'm kind of surprised that you didn't know about her.
And you know, she might be on my Instagram.
Right, and you
I
just don't recognize the name. Yeah. So, yeah, other than that, I really haven't had a lot of time to stitch or watch.
I was on vacation for a week or gone, so I didn't get a whole lot done or a whole lot viewing.
Yeah. Well,
anything like
you
that.
gotta do those things too.
Oh, you do.
It's fun.
You do. Everything's fun. So, then let's see. What do we want to talk about? Well, let's keep talking about Finish It February.
Okay.
Do you have any starts or anything that you had a quick start before February?
Yeah, well, I did. And, so this guy, I actually only put one stitch in, so I'm not going to show it, but I had to get him started so that I could work on it in February, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I could just do it in March, and I'm like, no, it's nice to have it done so you can switch it out early in the month. So he's going to be happening. Then I showed a lot of the things that I was working on in our last video. So
those are the Stitch 9 challenge.
Yeah, so I didn't really get anything all that different done. But I will show my other things that I'm going to be working on this month. So here is Christmas stocking for my grandson, which I really have not been giving much attention to, but I'm hoping at least maybe to get his nose area in this month. So yeah, I have the top of his hat, and it's kind of fun. I've never done stitching from the top going down before. I've always like jumped way all over in the pattern, but
really?
I think I've talked about this before, that every 10 rows I'm making sure that I match the chart so that if I'm off, it's not off so crazy much. So far that's been working pretty good for me. And like when there's so many colors, I think you can fudge it really pretty easily without it like jumping out at you.
I'm trying to think. Somebody's oopsie.
Just caught on the nice quality 8 o'clock.
Somebody's daughter. Who was that? Country. Oh, that one from Utah, whose daughter comes on to Catherine.
Yeah,
is the daughter. But what's the mom's name?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Is it hand? Oh,
handmade, hands-on, something.
Maniac.
Yeah, it's Maniac.
Something, yeah.
Handmade Maniac.
Yeah, something like that.
Her daughter just finished a Haid, and it just is. I mean, I'm never gonna do one like that. Well, I should never say never.
Say ever.
The possibility of me ever doing one is pretty slim, but it is fascinating how they stitch those things. And I watched the video when she talked about it. And I mean, this was years, and she remembered what she did when she did this section, where she was in her life.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. But to do full coverage like that, I mean, that's kind of how they do that. They kind of grit it.
And just even how they're parking their threads and that whole concept. I'm like, I need to go to class for that.
but it's amazing. She had a little class. I have not watched that, but I watched the video when she was all done.
Okay.
And yeah, if you just
it's like
it's amazing.
It's like you're painting with floss.
Yeah.
Really. It is phenomenal.
You know, for me who likes to do small cutesy stuff, it's just amazing. I mean, that's what's cool about cross stitch. So
yep.
Okay.
So
moving on.
Next I have, and I've shown this before too, Wisconsin River Sampler by Chessie and me.
I might have to borrow that one.
Yeah. This was from my thrift store finds. That has never happened again, unfortunately. I guess it's like, I don't know, what did they say? Once in a lifetime?
Yeah.
So, well, obviously they were probably clearing out someone's house.
When I go to my Goodwill, I've never seen, like, their craft section is not very good.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like
and
this.
I think, you know, with people selling things online now, you know, when you think of the value of them. But I have the border all stitched up, which I remember being one off like at one point and having to redo, but and I don't know what count this is. This is pretty tiny for me.
It does look small.
I don't know. I should count it sometime just for the heck of it.
What does the pattern call for? Because I bet you, because it seemed like that person.
Oh yeah, kind of kitted up.
Kind of did what the called for, because you have all the called for threads.
Yeah, that's true. Model was stitched.
I don't have my glasses on. So.
Oh, sorry. You keep talking
Otherwise
while I look.
Okay, I don't have anything to talk about.
Well, it just says 1 over... But that seems odd that it wouldn't... It has...
Oh, it doesn't have a back page.
Huh. Model was stitched using 1 strand floss over 2 linen. And then... Was isn't this riveting? Watching Barb and Leanne.
Let's read a pattern.
I don't know. It's really tiny.
Model was stitched using 1 strand floss over 2 threads,
But where does it
unless
tell you what to
otherwise
buy?
indicated.
Oh, wait, here's the second page.
Oh, jeez. I'm like, don't they have, because they have to have like a supply list.
Oh, 32 count.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
and so I've stitched on 32 count.
But maybe, like, I think people have said different brands.
Oh, that could be. Maybe it's a
Are a
tighter,
little different. Yeah.
tighter woven. And this one, I'm still not sure what I'm going to do on this. This is, I stopped because the white wasn't showing up. Now on that one, new person, Pumpkin Hollow, she used a light blue on her fabric, but I forget what color. You too. Her fabric was not blue, but the blue, it made it pop like it was white. It was phenomenal. So this is as far as I got, but I don't know what I really think I'm going to stitch this again on fabric I like better.
Do you have snowflakes in?
Yeah. Remember I had
why
that
don't
experimental.
you do blue snowflakes?
You know, the other thing I could do is, these are dark colors. What about coffee tea dyeing it and then doing the white again?
Well, you know, I had a Brenda Gervais pattern that I did that you had to stitch the whole thing.
Yep.
And then you tea dye it, and then you put the snowflakes in.
Oh, so that was her
That
method.
was her method on whatever it was that I stitched.
And really, there's not that much white in here yet. I mean,
no.
a couple roofs and Santa's beard.
Yeah, you could probably.
So that might help.
Yeah.
So, but this is Prairie School or Christmas Eve.
I love that one.
I mean, when I saw people's versions of it, there was one that was on blue, but then when I looked back, it was a deeper blue. So I think that's why the white showed up.
It's hard. You got to really think contrast when you pick this stuff out.
I know, and especially if it has white in it, like I struggle with that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think, well, that's why maybe I should just use the called for.
Yeah, but you got to change things up.
I know, you want it to be different.
It's trial and error,
Right.
but if you never try, you never know.
Correct. So season's greetings, Teresa Colgate.
I don't know.
I don't know why I have such a hard time with her name. It's like 5 letters, but
Teresa.
Teresa. Toying with the idea of winter's greetings after you did that, but I don't know that I'll do that. But I mean, that's really the only thing that would scream holiday versus winter.
Yeah.
And
I love this piece.
I have a pretty good start on him.
You do.
So he's
and his
looking
face
good.
is so darn cute.
I know. I'm so happy to have a face in first.
I like doing that. I like doing faces first.
And he still has his hat floating, but hopefully this month that will change. Yeah, so I think that's...
It's to the point where I'm thinking there's not enough days in this month.
I know. Could we make it like a quarter instead? Include March in there?
Yeah.
No, we probably will be chomping at the bit to start something new by February 28th.
You'll see something. When is market? Is that in March or April?
I don't know. I've seen some of the designers
talk about it,
but I don't know.
Because then when that comes out, then it's like, oh.
Yeah. That's true. Maybe I should just like take myself off Instagram and YouTube so I don't see anything new.
That's
Go hide in the woods. Fun. No, it would be no fun.
That's no fun.
No fun.
So anything else? Okay, so I had to put some stitches in. Let's see. I have thank you, Mama Joan of the Joan and Kelly Show. Here's Button Box, and it's in this book.
I'd stitch that.
Yeah, there we go. By Blackbird Designs. And it's in Friendship's Way, right? Yeah.
I was just looking at this. Is that the one that we were looking at for that little box that I found?
Yes.
That is pretty.
And so, for some reason, it took me forever to get this far on this house. Because I didn't notice that it continued on the next page.
Oh.
And I just thought it went all the way across. So my house was way wider. It's in the back more.
This one?
That's it, yeah.
Your house is...
It was way wider until I ripped it out.
Oh.
I stayed up late until I ripped everything out that was wrong.
Oh.
Because then I counted, here it is. And in the pattern, it has part of the house here and part of the house here.
You didn't want to make it into a ranch?
Well, yeah. And then I'm like, when I was stitching, I'm thinking, am I going to have enough fabric on the sides to finish whatever? And I will.
Yeah.
When you stitch it correctly, because I have all this on the side. So I stuck with it until I got it right, and it's right. And then I was thinking, Barb, like March, if I don't stitch it in February, I don't want to stitch it in March. So I think you saw this one by the Trilogy.
He's so cute.
And what is this? What is the name?
And next month you'll be seeing our mugs.
Oh, yeah.
You will love them.
Happy Jig Jig Day.
Happy
Jig
Day.
This is as far as I got. The green for the trim on the top, I had ordered and they did not have it. And so I just picked out a different green. Other than that,
What is that green? Do you know? It's pretty.
No, I don't. I mean, I can look at my flosses.
No, that's right.
I don't know what it is. And you know what? I think it's just a DMC that matched the other green. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't think it's variegated at all. So I got that far. Then I have this Joyful Journal March by Hands.
Oh, that's cute.
Hand
with
and
the
Heart.
Hat.
Yeah, and I did it on the same fabric, but just flipped it over. And this is as far as I got, again, because I wanted to hurry up and get something in there so that I can stitch it in February.
Well, and I've found now, I try to do the, oh geez, sorry.
That's fine.
Lots of activity going on. I try to do the borders if they're like a symmetrical pattern, like before I stitch the rest of the inside, because like if you're off on that one stitch, it's not like a border where it's just straight and you can add another stitch or take another stitch out, but it can be really bad news if you're wrong on that.
And that could be like another a question.
Oh.
Never have I ever added a stitch.
Yeah, there we go.
to make something fit.
I wish, I wish that was something I could say, no, I've never done that, but I certainly have.
I have, but then the only problem is you have to remember that you did it so that you don't use that as a counting point.
Right, exactly. Or like I don't know. There's some things where it really doesn't matter. Like I have an extra stitch in one of the triplets, the one with the bag. I have an extra little stitch on the side, and I'm like, maybe the fabric was just showing a little bit more right there. Like I know that, but does anybody else know?
Yeah. So that's a good question. Have you ever like fudged a pattern so you didn't have to rip out? Yeah. And I would think most people.
Yeah, because I mean, what difference? Unless you're a really super perfectionist, I guess, and it would bother you, then in which case, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead,
rip.
Well, and I did that on this house because I'm like,
a house. I mean, and that's symmetrical, so I find like that's usually when you have to, or you can't make it work other ways.
Yeah, I try to make it work. Make it work.
It's kind of like go to bed, make it work.
Yep, that's just it. So that's all I have. Again, we were on vacation and I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done.
Right.
But I wanted to get those stitches in so I could stitch them in February.
So I'm like so excited with hoping what I'll be able to accomplish. Although, you know, we've got some things going on, not a lot, but you know.
But if you know you're not taking the time to start something, it takes time to start a new project,
Right.
and it's nice to just pick it up.
Right. And I think, you know, with starting, it's all the decisions. Am I going to use this fabric? Do I have this color? You know, there's a lot involved.
We're taking that all away.
I know, it's like just making it a stress-free month for you all.
It is.
So,
it's kind of freeing.
So join us.
Yeah.
And it goes along with the people doing the Stitch 9. What is
the Stitch 9 challenge?
Yeah, Stitch 9 challenge, because you can just pick up one of those and
one of your 9 and go
and go with it, and
it's preparing for Stitch Mania in May.
Right.
So you want to get rid of some things so you can start.
Yeah.
And so I think it works out good.
Yeah. So, did I want to show this again?
Sure.
Okay. I think I have showed this before. But this was one. I didn't stitch it, but I bought it. And it's just, I've had it out now in winter. I used to always put it away, and I'm like, why would I put this away?
No.
So it's just, you know, wintry. It's not Christmas. So
I love that.
So anyways, sitting on my piano.
I know, I pulled it off of there. Well, it's got a little heart on the teapot or whatever. Yep. So then let's see. Do you want to go ahead, show that?
So this thing kind of is what got me back into cross stitch. I think it's a prairie schooler. I don't know. I borrowed the chart and I don't have it anymore, and it was a while ago that I stitched it. And this one too has like all sorts of mistakes in it, but and even like I was using the color flosses I had, so I don't think, and the type of fabric, so you know, I would maybe make his little tummy area a different color if I was to stitch it again, but I think it's really cute.
I do too.
And like if I do this now, I would leave a little bit more of a selvage, but I'm going to put it in this frame, and I'm going to paint the frame, but I have kind of a that verdigris, is it verdigris color paint, you know, it's kind of that bluish, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? It's like a bluish green.
Oh, okay, almost like
the color that's in there.
Like when copper kind of starts oxidizing or whatever.
So I might do it that color. I mean, it's definitely spring, or, you know, off-white or something of that.
Yeah, I think that'll look very cute.
So,
you know, the one thing though, you're gonna like lace it, like take all these out and lace it around this piece.
Yes.
You're not gonna fold it under, and because I'm afraid that would show.
Oh, no.
You know.
I don't, well, this was before I really learned about finishing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
You know, that's a good question.
Because you can sew this around onto another piece of fabric.
Oh, because I trimmed it.
Yeah, and so that it'll fit on the back of this piece, if that's what you want.
Well, why wouldn't it
or
fit?
If you want...
Why wouldn't it fit? I mean...
Like, I don't know that I would fold it under, because I'm afraid that this... that the fabric might show on your finishing.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it was my thought just to fold it to see what it looked like. But I think I was going to, like, put the edges over, not this, but something
else. Yeah.
So... I see what you mean. No, I wasn't going to leave it folded.
No, okay, good. Because I'm afraid that it would show a demarcation line.
Right.
Like even when you press and stuff.
And then I was thinking, well, maybe this would be one that would be better off coming from the front. You know, like if you cut the... And then it wouldn't be so far back in the frame either.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Well...
Wow.
So that's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, you're smart.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Well, I mean, why have it so deep when it could be more in the forefront that you'd see it?
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Thank you.
So, okay.
I need to pat myself on the back.
Yeah, really, you should. Let's see. Do we have any I don't have any finishes.
I have no finishes.
I should have brought my little February thing since it was February, but I showed that the last video. The little drawer.
Oh, yeah.
And that drawer idea I got from Kitten Stitcher, Teresa, because she did something on that. And I bought those drawers and I just couldn't wait to do something, but I never found the perfect thing until that was the perfect size.
That is cute.
Yeah. So then February too, well, really January is kind of a way of organizing.
Clean slate,
and
organizing.
getting everything ready. So I am following like many Flosstubers. I got a planner. And so I don't have anything in the February yet. But I plan on writing when I start and finish something. I don't know that in January I started it. I don't know that, I'm not going to write anything else really on it other than starts and finishes. I'm going to keep it simple so that I do it.
Versus like
writing like a whole, but then on these pages, I don't know if you can, there we go. On these pages, I'm going to go into more detail. Like I will write the color of the fabric, the stitch count, and if I changed any threads. Which doesn't, what difference does it make if I write that down? But we'll see.
I think it's really good to have, because I know when I was trying to find colors to match something I had used already, I finally found that I had written it in a notebook, and you know, that would have been so much easier than like holding up this floss and saying, oh, this, that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then on the sides, inside here, I'm just going to write my finishes so that at the end of the year I can page through. Because I really liked it when people knew what they stitched the whole year. You know, in January when they were showing...
I might find it depressing that I don't have very many finishes.
But I think it happened, for most people, it happened the opposite way.
They had more than
they were
thought.
Surprised on how many finishes they had. So, because I have no idea what I had finished last
I know,
year.
I tried to think back, and actually I was putting some things away in a cabinet, and I came across like some of my fall stitches, and I'm like, oh, look at here.
I think you'll be surprised. Well, and you were stitching when you should have been stitching Christmas.
I should have been stitching Christmas. Darn you people. That's the last time I'm going to listen.
I know. She listens to you guys, who she doesn't know very long, instead of her lifelong friend.
I know. But, you know, now I'm glad they're not in this pile for Finish It February. Because I have
that's where they would be, too.
They would be there.
Yeah. So I agree with that. So then another thing, organizing. Now I got this tip, I think it was Pam from Just Keep Stitching. I bought one of these containers, and it's 2 sections. It's got a handle. And I don't think I have very much cross stitch compared to other people. But on the bottom section, I have my fabrics. And that was a question I wanted to ask people, because I don't know if this is good. And some of these fabrics, I have few snaps that I never use.
I'm so glad I didn't invest in those.
Well, I only have 2, and then I have a hoop in here too. But how do you keep your fabric is a question that I wanted to know, because I didn't know if folding it really
is the best.
Destroyed it.
Well, and I've read like the purists say like don't store your overdyed stuff in plastic, but I mean everybody does.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Then another tip that I did is when I finish a project and I have like a piece left over, what I've been doing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Is I take just a piece and then I write on the back what it is. Or sometimes they came with a sticker. And so I've just been throwing these all in a little baggie so that I know next time maybe I want a color of fabric or I see online, because we don't have a local LNS. I know we keep saying that, but
we still don't. Come on, some entrepreneur.
Yeah, so that I kind of know what the fabric might be. So obviously I haven't finished too much.
This is nice. I have a square one of those, but I like the oblong.
Yeah.
Did you order it online?
I did. I did get this online.
I'll have to look for that.
But it might have been at Joan Fabrics online.
Oh, okay.
So then my top part is all my flosses. And I'm just, it's like if I fill too much of this up, I think I gotta stop buying flosses. But here we go. This row is all fancy floss. This row is DMC, and then this is DMC.
So do you have them divided by manufacturer and then?
I do. I have fancy
alphabetical?
by what they are. Weeks Dye Works, the name, the number. I started doing it by number, but then I noticed many times they do not call it by the number, so then I rearranged it and I started alphabetizing it.
Right.
DMC, same thing. I put a white card in there, not as fancy as Barb's.
Yeah, well.
But I put a white card in there. I have the number of it. It's just a floss away bag. This does not come divided. And what I did, I just took a cardstock and I made a divider and brought out the old duct tape.
Taped it down.
And taped it down so that I had dividers in it.
So did you leave some at the bottom and fold it on the bottom?
I did.
Because I was thinking, I have my floss just in a basket right now, but it fits the width pretty nicely. But, you know, sometimes when you're paging through it, it seems like the bottoms are, you know, like they get sucked underneath. Yep. And I was thinking, well, maybe you could, you could do that like across every couple sections too, so that wouldn't,
that would be a good idea.
They wouldn't fall under.
Yeah, because they do.
As you're paging through.
Right, yeah. So, and then I organize my patterns in a notebook. I know people say that that's not, they don't necessarily do that, but I do.
That's nice.
Oh, did I just show a chart?
I don't know, but let me look through this.
If I did show a chart, it was a freebie.
Oh, that's cute.
So that's my organizing tip, and it works. But I think I might need another section.
And another binder.
Well, the binder, I should really go through some of the patterns and
what will you do?
Pass the stash.
Oh.
On some of them. So yeah.
I have more than my share, but I don't think I have, I don't know. So many of mine are in progress that.
Well, some of them were freebie charts that I printed out.
Right.
There's some books in there, so it makes it fatter.
So, are we going to talk Valentine's Day plans?
Right.
Well, I'm going to say what I'm going to plan on doing.
Oh, really? What are you doing?
I'm going to wear my Valentine socks. Sorry to put my foot right in your face.
Like, what is she doing?
Oh, no. I mean.
I think I have Valentine socks.
I don't know what day of the week it even is. I have to stop and think.
I don't know. My phone, and we're using my phone to record, so I can't look.
Oh, well, yeah. No. We usually just, I don't know. It's not like we're big flour chocolate fancy dinner people.
We aren't. We just go out to dinner whenever we want to go out to dinner. So
yeah. But.
Yeah, I might, and really, if I cook, that's probably more.
That's pretty
special.
Exciting. Yeah. Jim would probably agree with you there.
Although I've been cooking more.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What have you been making?
Well, I wanted chili, so I bought like a gigantic package of hamburger.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna freeze this hamburger in like approximately 1 pound containers, which I cook it and freeze it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I'm like, I never really did that before.
Oh.
So I did that so then I could make, I made, and I did it with pork too, because there's a pork casserole that I did. And I just divided it in half and made the casserole. And then I made stuffed shells with it. And I still have one package left. But
now I'm thinking meatloaf. That doesn't work with frozen.
No, not when you already cooked it.
You'd have to add a lot of stuff to bind it together.
You might have to just put what you would put in a meatloaf and just make it like a hot dish kind of thing.
You know, in Minnesota.
I love that word, hot dish.
I know. I didn't know that.
In Minnesota.
In Minnesota, they call it hot dish.
I know.
And I'm like,
and all it is a casserole.
It's a casserole. Like, why do we call it casserole?
Well, because in Minnesota they call soda pop.
Yeah.
And we call soda.
Well, and I think Wisconsin is one of the few soda places.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Because like down south, I think even some Illinois people call it pop.
Well, Illinois, they call it pop too.
Yeah. So.
Because they feel that they're south.
And we have bubblers. Do people know what bubblers are?
Yes, we have bubblers. Water fountain, they call them water fountains. Drinking fountains.
The funniest thing was when ATMs first came on the scene. They were called time machines here. TYME.
Oh, that's right.
Take your money everywhere. I think that's what it stood for. So we all didn't you call them time machines?
Oh yeah, time machines.
We all called them time machines
to draw money out. Yeah.
Well, I remember my daughter went out of state to go to college, and she's like, "Where's the time machine?" People are looking at her like, "Whoa, I don't know where the time machine is."
Oh,
but
I don't remember that.
Yeah. So it was kind of a weird thing. So I've learned to say ATM instead.
Well, now you always say ATM. Well, I'm trying to think of it. You know, I have not the time card. I don't know what they call them. Debit card. I have one. I've never used it.
You've never used it?
No.
Oh, well.
No. I mean, I've never taken money out like that. I've never.
Like, how do you get cash?
Well, I usually don't have cash, but if I do need cash, then I go to the bank and write a check and do it because I can't remember what the pin was that I set it up, and it was like 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know where my card is.
Oh.
So, but not that you're going to get
well,
any
and
money
I
out of
don't.
my account.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't use mine that often for. Just there's sometimes I just need cash though, and so it's convenient and easier than going to the bank.
Yeah, I usually don't.
Well, now with online banking and being able to deposit checks online or.
Oh yeah, I always deposit checks online.
Yeah, or even
so it's easy.
Yeah,
even transferring money to people. Yeah,
it's nice.
So.
Well, now we've really solved the world's
ramble.
We forget we're recording and not just
hashtag Finish It February SAL. Ramble.
Yes.
So, do you have a Never Have I Ever? Another one?
Never have I ever. Never have I ever said never ever. Sorry.
Oh my
gosh. This is what you get.
I know. Okay. Moving along. I have one.
Okay.
I have never have I ever started a piece and finished it in the same day. Have you ever done that?
No, I don't think so. Because, what would it be?
Well, it would have to be a little flip it or,
flip
something.
It even though has enough stitching.
Right. But I mean, it had to be, I would think that it would have to be little unless you're a really fast stitcher.
Right.
And he had a lot of time.
Or a tiny little moon sliver. That I could get done in one day.
But that's a good question.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever finished something in one day?
Yeah. How many hours have you ever stitched in one day? That would go with it.
That I don't know.
I know there's been times where I've gotten up in the morning and stitched and stitched and stitched.
Really? Let's see.
And then it's oh, it's dark out.
I know. I think the longest that I've stitched was probably about 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
And that's and this is terrible to say, but when my husband would go to bed, then I just stay up and watch TV. I think I said it in one of the videos. It was after 3 o'clock. And I thought to myself, I gotta stop. And I stitched almost the whole way through.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, I've easily stitched 6 hours in a crack. Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my goodness.
I remember, this is how naive I was. So my first, like I had done cross stitch years ago, and my first venture back in was a Dimensions gold Christmas stocking for my granddaughter. And that was like 5 years ago. So I remember like ordering, you know, going online, ordering the kit, getting it, and same thing, my husband was going to be up north, and I thought, oh, I think I'll be able to get this done in this weekend. Oh my God. I was just like, what was I thinking? I had no clue. I think I got like, and at first I was like keeping track of how many hours I was working on it. So I worked on it like Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And, you know, had like, I don't know, 30 hours in, and had like maybe this much done. It was like, oh, I was so sad. Like, this is obviously going to take me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And that was only the beginning.
Oh, that is funny. I know, I just, yeah.
Like naive, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people, they say they're fast stitchers. I'm like, how do you get to be that fast?
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not a fast stitcher. I don't think I'm slow, but I find like I just don't like the way my stitching looks if I go too fast, especially like if I'm stitching white. White is the only thing that occasionally I will pop in one of those springy hoops.
Oh.
And not do in hand, because I feel like
white, yeah, shows.
It shows if it looks bad.
And I've started like crossing every stitch.
Yeah.
Like I do not, unless it's like a piece where I want to get over somewhere and then come back.
Yep, that's how I do it.
I usually do every cross, even if I'm doing DMC. I've just kind of gotten used to that, and
yeah.
So I think I'm like you. I'm not fast. I'm not slow. I'm putsy.
And you know, I know you stitch in hand and have gone to the sewing method. My problem is, and I've never watched the videos, but like I'm great going from the right to the left. But then when I go from the left to the right, I feel like I can only do every other one. And
it's because unless you're left-handed.
Yeah.
Like if maybe we should learn how to stitch ambidextrous. And then you could go whiz one way and whiz the other way.
Know, but don't you have to have a stand then? Like where you're not even moving your hands? Like I've seen people who they have like a stand and one hand's on top and one hand's on the bottom.
Yeah, see, that's cool. And like that I think would be kind of fast. I could do that, but it has to be in a hoop then.
Right.
That way.
Yep. So, I don't know, you know, just whatever works for you.
In hand, the hoops were kind of hurting my hand after I would stitch.
And I find though, like sometimes, well, I'll clip the fabric if there's a lot of it, but sometimes I just, like sometimes the hoop keeps some of that fabric more controlled.
Yeah, I agree.
But whatever works.
Yeah. I do whatever is easiest. Yeah. I'll try doing the easiest thing, and then after a while it's like, maybe this isn't the easiest, and then it's like, okay, take the time and do it right.
I know.
So
well, that's
with that, I think I do have a stop the floss I want to get off.
Alrighty.
Because
I'm excited about this.
You had showed that picture of the cake that I made.
Oh, that's so funny.
With the quilt on it. Let's see. Yep, and then this is the quilt that I made.
This is so pretty.
I just love this.
Really, really pretty.
So, and this...
Oh, look at all those tiny little hearts.
I think this was a free pattern, but I don't know where it was from. It might have been the Temecula Quilt Company.
So... I'm just always curious about this, not being a quilter. So, like, when you do these things, do you sew long strips of them together and then cut them? You know, like these 2 squares?
Yeah, I think that's the way that it was. Yeah, I think they were. I think it was a strip. And then you just subdivide.
And then you would sew this on next. and then this all gets sewn together.
And then I think, I'm trying to, and then I think it's like, I don't know.
Well, and so then you're,
I don't know.
she doesn't know, I sure don't know. But so then sometimes you're sewing them together this way.
You're sewing them in blocks, so I think this right here is a block.
Oh,
and then this is a plain block. There
Okay.
we go, there we go.
Okay.
So this is a block, so then you do one of these heart shapes and a solid.
Okay.
And a heart shape and a solid, heart shape, solid. So this is a 9 patch.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's how you do it.
Maybe I'll learn to quilt someday.
I think she should. But I remember when I did this, like my rows are not even, like I think one side I have more hearts than the other side. But that was like when I first started quilting. And I didn't really know what I was doing.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Then maybe it's the top and the bottom or something. I don't know. Something wasn't right.
Well, it sure looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite. I just love red and white quilts.
Well, I like the colors in it. You know, like.
And this was all scraps.
See, now this could go in my house. This could go in my house. Oh, look at.
Well, look at, there's that blank wall there.
Don't you think it's a good idea? Come on, comment. Leave the quilt with Barb. Come on.
Yeah, and then you'll get other people. There's other people that are in line.
And you have your own beautiful things. I think I should get the quilt.
And if her Instagram is Cottons and Wool, so I think she's got a blog. She's got a blog too. I don't know if she still keeps up with it or not. But some of her quilting stuff is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, as is yours.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm getting there. Getting there. And so, well, that's it.
Yeah, I guess we'll maybe be back in a couple weeks.
I think so.
I should be able to.
I think I'm okay. It's how your schedule is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be home now.
And I will be in town in February.
Okay.
So, I don't know, like, just was a lot of stuff going on. End of, January, even beginning of January. Just was a busier month than normal.
Yeah.
There were some weeks where I didn't have a single night with nothing.
Wow.
And I hate that.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that's hard.
Mm-hmm. But anyways.
So. But it's over with, and
it is, and days are getting longer.
I know.
It's great.
You can tell.
I know.
So the longer the days are, the better my mood is.
Yeah, I'm definitely tied to that. So
yeah. So
okay. Well,
happy stitching, watching. And don't forget, thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. Like us, thumbs up.
If we're not back before Valentine's Day. Hope you have a sweet one.
Yeah. Aww. That's cool. And what else was I going to say? Click on the bell because we're so sporadic at when we record. Then you'll at least know when we're recording. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We appreciate it. We love your comments. We try to answer all your comments. Either Barbara and I will answer or both of us. Mm-hmm. And then I thought there was one other thing. Oh, yeah. And don't forget our SAL, which is hashtag Finish It February SAL.
Finish It February SAL.
Yes, and we capitalized every letter.
Because otherwise
every first letter.
Leanne sent me a text with Finish It February SAL, all lowercase, and if you look at it that way, it has a whole new meaning.
Yeah, but another word pops out of
works.
That. But so, okay, well, that's it.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.